Alright, so I was sitting down, ready to eat some wings. In fact, I actually have them right here. I had to set up the stream here, so they're a little bit cold. But, so now I'm going to go ahead and cook them. And, as you might imagine, to my fucking surprise, just as I was about to eat one, just as I was about to bite into this and whatnot, and you can kind of see my reaction in the description section, like below here. Now I think I'll take the chat off here until, yeah, that'll be better. So anyways, watching this segment, not even 2 minutes in, and I figured I had to react to this. Some of this shit I know of Elon Musk, but I'm not overtly familiar with the man. The reason why is because, primarily speaking, I don't really have that much of an interest in looking into the guy that is extremely anti-union. I mean, I know some of the things that he did, like, for example, I gave him somewhat major props and somewhat, like, praise, if you would, in the sense that, well, I do criticize Vaush quite regularly as well. Like, it's not like I am a fan, but I do recognize his shortcomings there, Autistic Beaver. That's the thing. So, yeah. But, like, I remember him creating the infrastructure for electric cars to be a thing there. And he even created a converter thing that allowed other cars to very easily and cheaply, by the way, to utilize the infrastructure for his electric car stuff. Now, it sucks that it was proprietary and whatever, but that was the way in which, at the very least, the way in which it was reported back then. It may have been false, now that I'm looking at Elon Musk's behavior now. But back then it was reported that the only way to get the charging stations up in a legal fashion, if you would, that would not get him buried under fucking shit tons of bullshit lawsuits by various different battery companies that held patents and shit like that, was to create a sort of proprietary plug, if you would, that couldn't be used in places at home quite as easily, if you would. Meaning that if you want to charge your car electrically, you have to get this proprietary plug to plug into your station or your wall, whatever, that's charging it at home. But he made it very cheaply, and he made it so that way it would be universal, that you could also buy like a universal sort of plug, if you would, that would fit on almost any fucking that would pretty much fit on any kind of electric car that was on a Tesla, to be able to utilize his Tesla charging stations, which I thought, that's great, and he's spending his own money for that. He's putting his own research into that, and I had some proper praise for him at the time. Now, and I'd like to say even over the course of, I don't know, over the past 3 years, I guess, he has really fallen off the deep end. I don't know if the dam on the bullshit has basically burst at this point in time, or if Elon Musk was always this terrible. By the way, he was always this terrible. But, yeah, so let's get the wings out. In fact, let me put them in for about 30 more seconds, and we'll get down to this real quick. Put it in for about 1 more minute. Got myself a cold mug of milk. Nothing wrong with that, obviously. Not soy milk, just regular milk, or rather probably just organic stuff. I can't fucking just properly drink that after watching a documentary called Food Inc., which, by the way, showcases how fucking disgusting non-organic milk is. Which, by the way, you also got to make sure to get, like, the type of organic milk that's actually fucking organic. You know, not made with, like, as cows and whatnot, because they sometimes improperly label that shit. Fucking hate the USDA. I wish there was, you know, I wish they would get on their game. Anyways, let's get to it, shall we?
The sad story about the brain monkeys. The Physics Committee for Responsible Medicine is alleging that using taxpayer dollars, Neuralink's experimental technology and testing at UC Davis led to the monkeys suffering severe health issues and death thanks to the implanted electrodes in their brains. Neuralink manufactured the chips for the brand's, quote, brain-machine interface. Pulling medical records for the 23 test monkeys used by Neuralink made up from 600 pages, PCRM alleged the tech company in UC Davis had not properly cared about the monkeys in question, leading to their injury, suffering, and death.
16 out of 22, by the way. The number wasn't referenced. It'll probably be referenced later, but 16 out of 22. Now, I like technology of Neuralink technology. It's definitely something I've been fascinated by, not just because of science fiction, but because it's like literally the pathway into us becoming more of a cyborg than before. And I mean, we're almost to a point in which most of our interactions throughout society are through technology, which already make us cyborgish, but more of in a societal sense. However, Neuralink technology, that's the beginning of cyborg shit. I hope our politics are going to change, of course, to allow that to be more beneficial, but whatever. Anyways, point being is that I didn't know Elon Musk was developing this tech, but I did hear about the monkeys, at least, like, what was it? I basically what I have is I have it so that way my Facebook feed, and I know, getting news off of Facebook, blah, 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 blah. The thing is that I actually have my Facebook feed set up to give me news feeds from proper sources from time to time on various different individuals, events, people, and topics. If you know what you're doing, if you know how to set it up right, Facebook can actually be a viable source of good information in terms of, like, you know, what your feed is showing you. Not, of course, the things that are recommended to you, but the things that you actually like and subscribe towards, and, you know, the groups that you're a part of. Of course, you always got to go ahead and keep in mind that some of these groups are going to be taken over by reactionary types, and that's kind of a problem there. So, yeah. And I figured, typical Elon Musk stuff. So, you know, not all that relevant. Probably some more stuff, obviously, because it's going to go over a very bad week of stuff, I guess. And then, of course, not even 2 minutes in.
All right, guys.
There's like...
tempting as it may be, you know, I imagine, to live your life in blissful ignorance of the fact that Elon Musk not only exists, but continues to do things. His actions actually have an effect on material reality. I know. Sometimes the stuff he does, or the stuff he doesn't, or the stuff he funds doesn't. Sometimes funny stuff happens, okay? So, here, first of all, I think you all know one of the stories, but there are actually a couple, okay? Run through it with me. So, how Elon Musk's SpaceX lost 40 Starlink satellites, reportedly worth as much as $20 million all at once.
That is insane. That is so fucking insane. How the fuck does something like this happen? How? It should be impossible for something like this to happen. I mean, okay, maybe 2 satellites go down at the same time. Okay, that's been known to happen. Maybe 5. It's rare, but it happens. But 40? Fucking you just like went past the improbable 15 mark, and literally just went to let's just fucking go off the goddamn scale. Let's see how much of the scale that we can go off on in terms of improbability. I mean, again, 15 satellites going all at once, really fucking rare. Almost incredibly unheard of, but it has been known to happen from like maybe once, like basically throughout the entire history of satellites being up in space, there's been approximately 2. And I say approximately because there's kind of a debate as to whether or not it was 15 on the second one, or whether or not it was actually 12, because some debris got mixed in, oddly enough, and they can't really discern from it, you know. But anyways, point being, is that the rarest events that has happened, somehow Tesla is just like, hold my beer. Hold my motherfucking beer. Let me see if I can do the more impossible. It's obviously, like, unintentional, but how the fuck does something like this happen? This is like, what the fuck? And look at that. 40 out of 49 satellites. 40 out of 49. What the actual fuck? This makes... This is the thing that caused me to say, okay, I've got to react to this. This is like gonna be prime react content, honestly. You know, I know Vaush does this as well, so I guess I'm reacting to a reactor who's also a debate pro. But, you know, this stuff is gonna... In fact, I'm actually kind of reminded of Internet Aristocrat's joke that he used to have. He's cringe, I know, but he did have a really funny line about React content, about how all React content is going to be quite literally just every video reacting to every other video in a take so bad it will just cause a genocide of epilepsy and seizures that will kill everyone. Like that's pretty fucking funny to think about. It's and it's probably true. It's probably true. There's probably some video out there that's working its way up to react to be a react video to literally everything. And it's like 12 hours long at this point in time, and it's still going because it's got to accumulate all the videos on the internet.
And he's had a very bad week, okay? This is what I'm getting at, okay? So, Elon Musk's Starlink operation, you know, it's some sort of nerd agency, I don't care, lost 40 out of 49 satellites it launched onto the Earth's upper atmosphere on Wednesday as a geomagnetic storm knocked out the majority of the fleet. So now I guess they're just sort of...
Oh, a geomagnetic storm. Okay. So this is like cosmic significance. This isn't anything that happened by accident. Okay. That is a little bit more sense. I was thinking, was Elon Musk building like their own shit and trying to do it on the fucking cheap, not realizing that you can't fucking do that with satellites? Like, you can't build satellites out of cheap motherfucking material that's gonna break in fucking space. Because that's gonna be so much fucking money lost. But here's the other question I have to ask. Did they skimp out on, like... Oh, what was the tech? And... What was it? EMP shielding. Yeah, that's what it was. Sorry, I haven't really talked or looked into satellites for so long. It's been a while. So, but anyways, yeah, EMP shielding. Did they skip on the EMP shielding or something like that? Because, like, that many satellites going down to a geomagnetic storm is possible if you skimp on the fucking... If you end up skimping on the shielding, but it's really hard to say.
Space debris taking up satellite space. That's cool. Let's see. Preliminary analysis shows the increased drag at the low altitudes prevented the satellites from leaving safe mode to begin orbit raising maneuvers, and up to 40 of the satellites will re-enter or have already re-entered. Oh, never mind. Never mind. My bad. They're going to rain down upon us in fire.
What? What? Was the coding fucking off? Is that what happened? Did they cheaply create the fucking coding rather than actually doing the coding properly? What the fuck?
Don't worry, they won't hit anyone. Satellites burn up. They are not going to hit anyone in the head.
Yeah.
So that's cool, you know.
Yeah,
but wow.
Yeah. When satellites are made, they're made so that way, in a way, if they ever do enter the Earth's atmosphere, that they break up upon re-entry. So that way, this is it's like it's rare, but you know it does happen that a satellite does hit something. But for the most part, like it's not really something to really worry about. So,
40 satellites, dying. That is, you know, pretty impressive. The storm has caused the atmosphere to warm and atmospheric density at the low deployment altitudes to increase. Essentially, the geomagnetic storm, which I understand that sounds like a sci-fi thing, but it's actually like a real thing that happens, you know?
yep.
The Earth has a magnetic field as a product of its molten iron core, and the sun bombards the solar system with radiation, and our magnetic field protects us from a lot of that radiation. It's one of the reasons why Earth is safe for living things to be on, but Mars isn't, because Mars doesn't have that gigantic magnetic field. Additionally, that's the reason why in movies, astronauts have like see-through visors, but in real life they don't. In real life, visors are one way, because if they were both ways, that means that their face would be bombarded with radiation from the sun, which outside of Earth's ozone layer and also our magnetic field would kill you actually really, really quickly. Like, it is actually terrifying how quickly the sun will irradiate all life outside of Earth's magnetic field. It is actually genuine.
Your skin will start to boil, I think, within like a 30-second time span. Probably not even 30 seconds even. I may be even wrong on that, so. But, yeah, that is, like, really fucking clearly the case. And that is, like, out in space, by the way. Imagine us having no atmosphere, no ozone layer, and no magnetic field. But basically just no protection whatsoever from the sun's rays and cosmic radiation and shit like that. There's nothing. We would all die. All life would die within the time span of about an hour, probably. On one surface, and as it rotates, the other surface would obviously suffer. You know, of course, like the other surface might end up freezing before that ends up happening. Of course, because what I'm describing would also be like the reason why it is we don't like a lot of heat would evaporate off the planet quite a bit. So, but anyways, point.
Genuinely terrifying. The entire solar system is a microwave oven, and Earth is the only safe space. Yep. It is wild. So, yeah, we're in the center of the hot pocket. As a physics guy, I'm annoyed at this reporting. It literally wasn't a geomagnetic storm. It was a coronal mass ejection from the sun. Just nitpicking. It had nothing really to do with Earth. Okay, let's just say that space magic is what led to the atmospheric change, which prevented the satellites from achieving a desirable orbit. So the person who just said that in chat, open sorcerer, is it true that the event which resulted in them not reaching the upper atmosphere and thus failing, is it true that this was a pretty ordinary and predictable event, the sort of thing that people launching satellites...
We don't really need to wait for his answer. His answer is going to be yes. It's true. This is very predictable shit. Like, that's why it is that you don't skip out on the fucking coding in this regard. You know, the algorithms that make up the computer to be able to detect these kinds of things needs to be top fucking notch. It can't be cheaply put to fucking together. That, like, That's the thing. That's the immediate thing that comes to mind. But hey, I'm a techie, so
into space should be capable of accounting for. Because that's what I've read. It was it was something that, you know.
By the way, for those of you who are probably going to make fun of me for probably having like bad audio quality or whatever, like being a techie doesn't necessarily indicate that like I'm willing to actually put in the fucking work in some regards for my own setup. Like I will eventually, but not right now because I've got a studio to set up at some point. So once that's done, you'll see my audio quality start jumping up massively over the next few months.
They should have known about. It's not like we can't track this stuff. Starlink astronauts, Starlink satellites, serving so and so many users. The company has already received blowback from astronomers and governments that are concerned about the growing flotilla of satellites Musk is positioning in space. We only have so much satellite space up there. This week, NASA delivered a letter to the FCC.
Space around the Earth is finite for satellite space. It's just a fact. And by the way, one of Elon Musk's proposals is also to create satellite advertisements. That's one of the things he's talked about. Can you imagine satellite advertisements in fucking space that you can see with the goddamn telescope? That is so gaudy and atrocious. I am at a loss to put it into words as to how disgusting that sounds. Sometimes, even if you're pro-capitalist, you have to admit that sometimes capitalism can go way too fucking far. And if you don't, then get the fuck off my goddamn channel. Because we are clearly not going to agree at all.
Warning that Musk's plan for 30,000 low-orbit satellites will increase the risk of Starlink modules colliding with other space vehicles. Cool. SpaceX previously said there is zero risk of a Starlink module colliding with a large spacecraft because of the former's maneuverability. But last December, China complained to the UN that its new space station had to take evasive action twice to avoid a collision with Starlink satellites? Gee!
Hold on, wait, what the fuck? I gotta hear that again.
Because of the former's maneuverability. But last December, China complained to the UN that its new space station had to take evasive action twice to avoid a collision with Starlink satellites? Jesus! Can you imagine if the International Space Station gets fucking beamed by a Musk satellite? Jesus, evasive action? Listen, please remember that if Elon Musk or anything associated with Elon Musk ever makes a promise about the future of any of their technology or products, they are lying. They are lying to you, okay? They're going to retire the ISS. Okay, well, you know what I mean. Satellite dodge tank build. You just have, like, fucking thrusters on either side just constantly, yeah. Jesus. Oh, yeah, space junk is a massive issue. In fact, people have already talked about how there's the potential for a cascade event where, because, you see, satellites tend to run in lanes above our planet. They don't just sort of willy-nilly. It seems like there'd be infinite space up there, but there really isn't. There are usually fairly predictable orbits that satellites take, and if you can imagine two crashing, creating a sort of shrapnel shot of debris, which then orbits around the planet at a bajillion kilometers a second, hits other satellites, creates a cascade effect until...
There was a movie about this. I think we all know which one I'm talking about, so I won't really say it. But yeah, there's literally a movie about this where this happens. So
eventually, the Earth is shrouded in a high-speed, orbital death cycle. Would that eventually burn up? Nah, that shit's in space, man. Nope. I mean, some of it will fall down, but not all of it. It moves at thousands of kilometers an hour. You want to fly a rocket out to the stars? Nope, not a chance. They move much faster than bullets, okay? Much faster. So the movie Gravity, what happened in the movie Gravity is a real thing that could happen, and it would be really bad if it happened. It would also knock out, like, the whole internet and phones and stuff, and it would be like kind of a soft apocalypse event.
Yep.
It would be really bad, actually. It would, yeah. It would be really bad. Yeah. Yeah, Kessler syndrome. Yeah, no, that wouldn't be good. Well, anyway, that's not the totality of the bad week that he had. This is just a video on Twitter, but it went viral, 4.4 million views, which is very funny. Oh, Elon Musk is trending. How nice. The frozen door handle of doom. Please take a look at this.
I have a guess, but is this frozen door handle just going to explode? And, like, is that what's going to happen here?
Oh, it loops! It loops! Like this is like a loop. Look, that's a pretty...
Ah, okay. So it doesn't explode. Okay, I was expecting something awful to just happen. It's like, wow, the satellite thing, that was really unexpected. Jeez, what's the next unexpected thing? Is this thing going to explode now? Like, what's the deal here? Because I'm just making a reference towards the old, like, cars that if you bumped you would explode or some shit. That was a thing in America. Fucking weird.
That's a pretty good loop. You just watch this guy struggle to get his car door open forever until he freezes to death. Okay, if anyone here has lived in a cold climate, you know that an inability to open your car door because it's cold is actually a real problem.
Yep. I was hoping he would say it. If he didn't, I would have said it.
That's actually a big problem. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not insurmountable. You could always, break in the window. But that's a problem. There are other cars that have, recessed door handles that don't have this issue. I think this is just like a Tesla issue. Tesla manual literally says you have to punch it to break up the ice if frozen. Okay, your local Tesla owner fucking undercutting just their fucking car. Like their hands are bleeding or whatever. Yeah, Teslas are only meant to be used in SoCal and Texas. That is so true, Teslas are marketed as some kind of hyper-futuristic car, but they have the, they have the stress tolerances of something that's supposed to be in, like, balmy SoCal weather 24/7. Take that too far north, too far... I don't know. Take that anywhere. Something's gonna go wrong. It's a fucking Tesla, man. Electric cars have been around for a century. They've been commercially viable for the average person for a good bit longer than Tesla's been producing cars. The only thing they really did was add some glitz and glam. And also, they rate lower on a bunch of safety ratings than other electric cars made by more reputable car manufacturers. I mean, Tesla is less reputable than, like, Toyota. Wild, right? And Toyota makes better cars. Cheaper cars. Just better. Yeah, whatever. Didn't they recall recently a ton of cars? Like a ton of cars. It's Tesla recall. That was pretty recent, wasn't it?
It was like someone had
Tesla
ballpark of around 9,000
or something. One day ago. My God, nearly 600.
Oh wow, Jesus fucking Christ! The one I was referencing was like back before fucking COVID was a thing. Holy shit! Oh man. Again, another unexpected bit. Like, you've got to be fucking kidding me here.
100,000 vehicles.
Wait, because of its fucking boombox gimmick? What the fuck? This is, like, unbelievable. I wouldn't... If you had told me this shit, I wouldn't have believed you. But seeing these articles in real fucking time right now at the moment... Well, not being published in real time, but, you know what I mean.
Elon Musk's Tesla has issued its 10th recall of the past 4 months. No.
Hold on. What? The fuck?
Vehicles.
10th recall, and so this is over a period of 10 recalls over 4 months. Oh man, Elon is obviously okay. Okay, now I finally get why it is that Elon seems to be having a contemptuous time for the fucking unions and for the poor and the working class and doing shit like that. You know. I mean, for those of you who don't know, oh, right. Let's see if I can bring it up real quick. It was something I recently took a screen cap of. Hold on, actually. Yeah, I shared it to someone. Hold on. So, here we go. Just copy that. This might end up being brought up in, like, Vaush is saying here, but yeah, this is a thing. This is probably going to be brought up. This is probably one of the main things he's going to talk about. One of the main topics he's going to be bringing up here. Like that just... This is already bad, but this shit... Yeah. But then, of course, you also have him doing shit like this. Unions were created during a time where people were getting their hands cut off and fired. True. They needed protection back then. True. Now with social media, you can be your own voice. You don't need to pay someone who makes $250K a year to be your voice. This is so motherfucking dumb. This is so fucking stupid. So goddamn retarded that I'm almost at a loss for fucking words as to how to describe how utterly moronic this is. The reason why this is so moronic, by the way, and it's just really hard to know who this person would probably be. In fact, let's take a look at the Twitter account real quick. Let's just do this before we get into the proper explanation. Let's see here. Oh wait, hold on. This person... Didn't include the capital T then, okay. I was about to say, did this person delete their fucking Twitter account all of a sudden? Yeah, it looks like they deleted their fucking Twitter account. Holy fucking Christ. Oh, damn, shit. This is, like, weird. Anyways, so, since we can't look up the Twitter, I was going to say that this person doesn't understand the simple fact that the average worker in a workplace does not have the time, nor the funds, nor even the wherewithal or the education to be able to look up their work, to be able to look up their rights as a worker, to be able to identify when and where they are being taken advantage of. I mean, the things that Elon Musk is doing is, like, here is just transparently fucking idiotic. Like, this shit is clearly, like, just, this is the stuff you learn in the history books. So, yeah, there's not really much to, like, educate people on, but the fact of the matter is that most people can't really reference laws. Most people can't navigate the system. Most workers are like not able to have the means or the time to be able to do any of that stuff as well. Like, even if workers could do all of that stuff, they don't have the time to be able to do that stuff in a lot of ways. So what they do, so what unions are, is that they represent not only an organization of solidarity, but also an organization in which the union reps are paid to represent the rights of workers in a way in which workers, so not only workers don't have to, but so that way workers can trust them and have their rights be represented within the workplace. That is why. Saying that because social media exists, therefore unions are useless is just... This is just... I can't really fathom how to describe how stupid this is in such a succinct fashion without describing in a long form fashion of how stupid this is. That's how dumb this is. What the fuck? Anyways, yeah.
Elon Musk's Tesla has issued its 10th.
So, anyways, my point is that I guess this is the reason why Elon Musk is liking that kind of shit and showing contempt for unions and doing all the bullshit that they're doing with regards to unions. I guess this is the reason. Whatever.
The recall of the past 4 months. No.
Be better, motherfucker.
No.
Be better.
No,
Be better, fuckhead.
It's the future.
Be better.
Dude. Tesla owners treat their cars the way Bored Ape Club yacht club members treat their fucking NFTs. They're so proud of his shit. And every other day, like, some new guy's like, okay, so my car won't turn on because it's too hot outside and it's raining. And some guy's like, my NFT got stolen. They are the same community. Very, very, very much rubes, you know? Not to be an Elon stan, but Teslas are actually rated super well for collisions. It's reliability that's the issue. Well, that's a safety problem, isn't it? That's a safety problem, I'd say. My opinion. But yeah, seems bad. Let's screenshot my car. Anyway, I want to read why. Hold on. They're recalling 578,607 vehicles. How many Tesla have been sold in total? How many Tesla
I'll be right back. I need to get some.
Wow, that is over one.
I need to get some more milk.
One half of all Tesla.
Oh, forgot my fucking plate there.
Seventy-eight thousand 607 vehicles. How many Tesla have been sold in total? How many Tesla sales? Wow, that is over one half of all Teslas sold in 2021. That is wild. That is so many. What is the total?
Sounds like a
number
manufacturing
of,
defect.
vehicle sales in total? I don't care enough to really look it up. It's a big recall. Anyway. The company is recalling so and so many vehicles in the U.S. because pedestrians may not be able to hear the required by law pedestrian warning system, according to Reuters. PWS is a feature found in all electric cars and some hybrids that is intended to keep pedestrians safe by alerting them if an otherwise silent car is around at speeds of up to 18.6 miles per hour. Tesla's boombox is meant to allow people to broadcast noise that happens to be far louder than the normal PWS. For those keeping score at home... Wait. They're being recalled because the boombox can make you produce noise that's louder than the noise you're supposed to produce to warn people if there's... Wouldn't the noise from the boombox suffice in alerting you to the presence of... I'll admit, this seems like a legal technicality that I don't get.
Yeah, this does seem a little strange. I mean, I was thinking something like, oh god, is it going to be something like the boombox is making people bleed out of their fucking ears because the volume is at a certain decibel or some shit like that? I hope fucking not. But, you know, you never know with this shit.
This isn't new. Oh no, electric cars have to produce enough noise by default, but if they're saying the noise electric cars produce is being drowned out by the speakers, then that would mean the speakers are really loud, which seems like it would kind of solve the issue a bit. But you know, let's not fiddle with the details. Wait, I'm terribly sorry. Is this an Elon Musk? Wait, why am I blocked by this person? This too? This person blocked me. Von Honkington. Everyone blocks me. I don't know. Whatever. Welding Twitter will bring down Tesla. Oh, I saw this! The weld! The weld from the inside of the Tesla! I saw this! Oh my god! Dude, how much, was this really a $130,000 car? Here. Thermal system has been removed. Tesla plaid. I hope this was $130,000, man. Where was it? Where was it? Somewhere here. It's a zoom in from one of these, isn't it? Where is it? Where? I'm missing it because I'm stupid. Third picture? Oh my god. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That looks worse when you see it. Oh my god.
Yeah,
hey,
like what the fuck?
Who needs welding school? I could do that. Give me a welding torch and a mask, okay? I think I could equal that level of quality. Wait, why is that bad? This is like using human feces as mortar for bricklaying. This is ridiculous. Look at it.
I mean, yeah, it looks like it was fucking. It looks like it was melted together for some fucking reason, and not in a way that soldering fucking job is supposed to look. Like, what the fuck? it literally looks like he overproduced the solder that he was soldering it on, but how the fuck do you do that? Like, what the fuck?
Jesus. This is like hot gluing.
Yeah, like hot gluing. That's a good analogy right there.
I want to see it up close again. It's very important to me.
I don't normally do this stuff, but what the fuck?
Yes.
That's exactly
Scroll
what it
down
looks
the
like.
thread to see proper welds. Down here? Oh, they seem to be pointing out perhaps other issues. Oh, well that looks nice. Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. I'll take it. Whatever. I like this. That's real good. The top picks were good welds. These? Ooh, there we go.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Imagine paying $130K for a car, and the inside is essentially gorilla glued together. Those are some handsome welds. There we go. Solid, no nonsense welding. Look, do not, catch me slipping here, my friends. Welding is very difficult work. There is a reason why you have to do training to be a good welder. It is an art to fuse the metals in a good way. And it's very important because welding is one of the most commonly used methods of, adhesion in any kind of construction. And if you fuck it up, it could be really bad if you mess up, It's
not just that, but also the welding of electronics as well. You don't want to really burn a fucking motherboard or any kind of electronic connection that you're trying to establish with what it is that you're trying to weld. It's very important.
Possibly. Yeah, this is a welder's suicide note. This is not good. But that's fine, because we haven't even gotten to like.
Hold on.
This is not good.
Why is this relevant? I'm not sure why this is relevant. Imagine allowing that weld through a QC on a. What? Hold on, wait a second. This was actually a weld on a fucking Tesla car that came out. What the actual fuck? I don't know, man. This shit is like I thought very little of Elon. I had very little respect for the guy. This somehow lowered that even more, and I didn't even think that would be possible. For the most part, I hear stuff about Tesla and Elon Musk, and I'm just thinking, oh yeah, that's typical. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh yeah, I didn't expect it, but yeah, it sounds about right. But this is just blowing me away.
But that's fine, because we haven't even gotten to like the main reason it's been a bad week for Elon Musk. And if anyone thinks this is just spite towards Elon, it totally is. That's why I'm framing it this way. But also, the more people who understand Elon Musk is a hyper-wealthy, completely out-of-touch billionaire who engages in tech grifting as a way of appealing to people's futurist sentiments without being able to meaningfully deliver on any actual change, I think that's bad, you know? I think that's cringe. But that's okay. Oh, also, real sad this bit, but this story is somewhat amusing, but is also quite terrible. We get now to the monkeys. So some of you may remember that a while ago, Elon Musk, because the only thing that he has is hype that he generates from saying shit that no one would take seriously if it came from somebody else. If anybody else said, dude, what if we had, like, brain chips that, like, were brain chips? Like, nobody else would have cared because it's been a concept in sci-fi for decades. The only reason that people cared when Elon Musk brought it up was because people, stupid people, thought he could actually do anything about it. We now, this segue naturally into the...
Yeah, like I said, I just heard about this stuff initially, about the brain implants, if you would, when the monkeys started dying. If you told me Elon Musk had pitched it to me, or if you told me that Elon Musk was doing just that, I'd say I'd be pretty skeptical if that would actually work. Doesn't sound like something that would be feasible for Elon Musk to be able to pull off, given his reputation.
Sad story about the brain monkeys. A national physicians group is suing Elon Musk's Neuralink over its brain chip production and the harm they allege it has caused the macaque monkeys used in testing the technology. The Physics Committee for Responsible Medicine is alleging that using taxpayer dollars, Neuralink's experimental technology and testing at UC Davis led to the monkeys suffering severe health issues and death thanks to the implanted electrodes in their brains. Neuralink manufactured the chips for the brand's, quote, brain-machine interface. And by the way, I will kill myself before I let an Elon Musk brain chip be brought anywhere near my brain or the brain of people I care about.
Yeah, same here. It's like... that... yeah.
I will kill myself or other people. I don't care. It doesn't matter at that point. Musk co-founded Neuralink in 2016, blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. PCRM is suing for an access of records in a Californian court, seeking to get copies of videos and photographs of the monkeys during testing, so on and so forth. Does this not have the... oh, yes, here we go. Pulling medical records for the 23 test monkeys used by Neuralink made up from 600 pages, PCRM alleged the tech company and UC Davis had not properly cared about the monkeys in question, leading to their injury, suffering, and death. The hundreds of pages of records are filled with test results for health, both physical and psychological, mostly in the handwritten script of the monkeys' caregivers. The files describe the process of moving the monkeys as animals shipped to Neuralink and note how they behaved before and after receiving the implant. The roughly 600 pages of documentation obtained and released contain death records, necropsy reports, behavioral observations, and notes of testing for multiple surgeries for the monkeys dating back to at least 2018. Abrasions, facial trauma, discomfort, poor appetite, losing weight, bleeding, and unwillingness to eat or return to their pens. Did the subject eat or forage? How was their appetite? Quote, consider further intervention if animal appears uncomfortable or more trauma occurs, end quote, reads one note from May 2018. Some describe sedation after vomiting before a physical examination. Other pages include observations about the need to relocate a monkey after other injuries. Monkeys were treated with dexamethasone, an anti-inflammatory drug, after receiving the Neuralink cranial implants, as well as diphenhydramine, an antihistamine. The drugs were administered when monkeys began to display itchiness and scratching of their heads following the test procedures. Trauma killed monkeys by destroying portions of their brain. Bioglue. Bioglue is a surgical adhesive designed for assisting in the body's recovery from surgery. Yeah, don't they put that on skin? It, like, adheres skin, I think. It has received pre-market approval from the FDA, meaning it is in a testing status and requires further checks to assure its safety and effectiveness. Did they put it on their brains? I guess they just put it on their brains. Well, I guess that's a thing you can do. Cool. I think there were much worse pieces of information that this article doesn't go into. Oh, don't show me the monkeys before the article. Neuralink's brain chips, which Musk claimed will one day make humans super intelligent and let paralyzed people walk again. Of course. Were implanted in monkeys' brains during a series of tests at UC Davis, so on and so on. Were implanted...
You see, making humans hyper intelligent is not going to be a thing with these Neuralink implants. They will allow us to recall information faster and to be able to recite information that we can recall, in a sense, at least theoretically anyways, more accurately. Meaning that there's less of a chance of us inaccurately regurgitating information, if you would, that has been presented to us. Now, there's still a propensity for us to quite literally, under no uncertain terms, mind you, to be subject to misinformation, propaganda, and all kinds of stuff or whatever. These are things that I do believe are probably going to be endemic to the human condition going forward. You know, the only ways in which we can actually get out of that is to quite literally deal with issues of cognitive dissonance within us to make us less susceptible in that regard. But that would require gene editing of us that would make us no longer human. That would actually make us quite something different. So, like, hyperintelligence would require removing several layers of human developmental evolution. It's not possible to do that with chips alone. It's just not a thing that can be done. This is why I fucking hate people like Elon Musk, you know? He makes a proposal for Neuralink brain chips, which he says could possibly work based on, like, whatever, like, shit that his engineers have been able to put together. And instead of actually realistically presenting how it is that these Neuralink chips might be able to help with things like managing people's mental disabilities or being able to, you know, as not let paralyzed people walk again, because, like, paralyzed people walk again isn't, like, most people who are paralyzed are not paralyzed because of something wrong with their brain. Like, you know, they're paralyzed for other reasons, like atrophy of muscles, atrophy of fucking of the leg bones, you know, of the amount of cartilage that's in there, because they don't have that much cartilage and whatnot. They also have, like, other physical things going on not connected to the brain specifically. But in a sense, I guess you might say, allow the blind to be able to see. You know, that would be something that a Neuralink chip could do, because quite literally there are sensory perceptions within the brain that lead to the eye that, if fixed through something like Neuralinks, Neuralink brain chips, if you would, could restore at the very least some partial form of vision, which would help to, like, create things like vision therapy, which would lead to people who are blind being able to see through vision therapy and Neuralink brain chips. This is all theoretical, mind you. None of this is, like, set in stone. This is, like, in some 50, maybe even 70, maybe even 120 years down the line. You know, it's not that far off. It's basically the next generation or three is when this technology might come up. But Elon Musk is not ready or willing to be able to realistically give people an understanding of this technology in terms of its applicability. You know, that they don't want to give that understanding there at all. That it's just not a thing that he's interested in.
Implanted in monkeys' brains during a series of tests at UC Davis, so on and so on. A monkey was allegedly found missing some of its fingers and toes, quote, possibly from self-mutilation or some other unspecified trauma. The monkey was later killed during a, quote, terminal procedure. That just means killing them, right? Terminal procedure? That seems like a euphemism to me.
Yep.
That it's just guess. In a third instance, a female monkey had electrodes implanted into its brain, then was overcome with vomiting, retching, and gasping. Days later, researchers wrote that the animal, quote, appeared to collapse from exhaustion/fatigue and was subsequently euthanized. It had suffered from a brain hemorrhage. Bloody skin infection, had to be euthanized. Yeah, okay. So, I want to be, like, really clear here, okay? The suffering of animals is something which is an inevitable component of some degrees of legitimate research. A lot of research we do for surgeries on humans is tested on mice or on pigs. And the reason why I'm okay with that...
You also have fruit fly research as well. Very important stuff too, but also does lead to the suffering of the fruit flies, unfortunately. You know, the types of things that we do to their genes and to stress test them in that regard does lead to suffering. But it's, you know, Vaush will probably explain the position that I am fairly amicable towards in this regard. Although probably for different reasons.
It's not good, but I'm okay with it, is because usually ethics boards are very strict on making sure that the ways in which these tests are done are as humane as they can be, obviously kind of a relativistic consideration, and also that the research that is being done is actually worthwhile. As far as I can tell, these people didn't discover shit. They found out that when you open up monkey brains and put wires on monkey brains, that they fucking die and freak out. This is to science what the Auschwitz doctors were to real medicine. It is a...
Yeah, this is like the type of tech... and to be perfectly honest here, this is a type of fucking... This is basically the type of science you would have expected people in the 1920s and 1930s to be doing. It's like... Yeah.
Bastardization of actual scientific rigor, a circumnavigation of existing ethical systems. And I can only begin to speculate why. I don't know if the people doing this are just Elon Musk yes men stans who are just like, oh, holy shit, we'll do whatever we can. I don't know if these people are under a lot of pressure to produce results, and so they're, you know, doing whatever. I don't know, and I also really don't care. It's unethical. This is very clearly not leading to anything. They've had years, and all we have are dead monkeys. Vaush, how do you know whether Neuralink had no ethics board or that they did a bad job? I don't know whether or not an ethics board approved what they were doing. I imagine there was some degree of oversight, but I know that what they did was pretty reprehensible. Clearly, they're facing a lawsuit from an animal rights group. I'm not alone in this opinion. And it's with regards to whether or not they did a bad job, this is a very unscientific assumption on my part, but if you were to begin with neural implant... First of all, I don't think the technology for this exists, by the way. Not only does it not exist, I don't think the technology that you would need to have this technology exists. Not at a human...
He's right. It doesn't exist. It's all theoretical. It's all theories and speculations of bioengineering and biotechnology that is, like, again, a generation or three down the line of being even possible being developing for testing.
Human level, in a way which allows for healthy, ethical integration, like something that you could do as a cosmetic surgery. Like, no. Now, I do know that we can control, like, cockroaches with electrical signals, but it's usually pretty one-to-one. Cockroaches are very simple physiologically. They have, you know, literally you can, like, plug fucking diodes in and you can pilot them like they're a mecha or whatever.
We've done a similar thing to rats as well as to other species of mammalian mice from rodents and all that stuff. But that's as far as we've gotten. In fact, I think the most impressive thing, which might actually be a little bit horrifying depending on how one views it, is the fact that they took the brain of a mouse and put it into that of a robot. And the thing continues to exist as if it's a mouse, but it's like it has the looks and rotations and everything else there of a robot, but at the same time, it has the behavior of a fucking mouse. So that's a thing. Again, it's like, depending on your perspective, it's either really impressive or really terrifying, because now we're creating Frankenstein rats, or Franken robot rats, or Frankenrat robots, or however the fuck you would want to put these three things together, like rats, Frankensteins, and robots. Like, just, yeah. In fact, it could be like a whole new generation of like horror movies that come up with this shit. And anyways, point being is that we have come a lot farther than from being able to do stuff with like cockroaches and shit like that, but we're nowhere near to the point of doing this shit with apes. We are nowhere near with this stuff. In fact, when I heard that it was done with apes, it's like, is it? My first reaction was, is this fake news? This has got to be fake news, right? I mean, wait a second. Elon Musk actually did this? Did someone approve of this? Like, what the fuck? I was going through my head, like, of the various different steps of how crazy this would actually have to, of how crazy this would actually have to be in order for this to succeed. But apparently we are living in that world. So, I don't know. It's fucking insane.
You know? A bit grim. Apparently it doesn't even hurt them that much. But my guess is that if you were to legitimately look into this, like really look into this research, you probably wouldn't start with monkeys. You would probably start with very small and simple animals. You would work your way up from bugs and possibly mice. It seems to me like this jump to monkeys was part of this futurist ambition, this belief that, like, we're still in the 50s.
I'm Monkey Rick. That's, yeah, Derek Prime pretty much described it right there. I'm Monkey Rick.
Where you can just do shit, you know? I'm going to guess, this is just my belief, I'm going to guess that the reason this played out the way that it did is because the Neuralink company...
Wait, leaked footage from Project Veritas infiltrating a factory lab? Hold on, I gotta look this up real quick, hold on. We're gonna take a look at that real quick just to see if it's like relevant at all.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Oh, okay. He just... That's all that is. Okay, it's a joke. It's a joke. Monkey's brain controls robot arm. Oh, that's actually seems pretty interesting. Actually, it seems a little bit more interesting. In fact, hold on real quick. Let me just go ahead and do this rather. Alright. Oh, video isn't available anymore. Yeah. Not sure what that's up about. Oh, let me make sure that the... Let's see, just making sure it's rightly spelled. And yeah, it's just been removed. I guess it's just not available anymore. That or it's just being blocked in my region. Ah, fuck it. Don't care.
Okay, International T-Bone, stop spamming or I'll ban you. The company...
Hold on.
Company...
Oh, okay. He's trying to do the... He's trying to...
Okay, International T-Bone,
Yeah,
stop spamming or I'll ban you. The company is probably a lot like other Elon Musk companies in that they
Hold on, it does exist, Vaush? Sorry, I'm paying a little bit of attention to chat since they keep leaking shit. See what the fuck they're talking about. This might not exactly be the best time to like be interrogating chat at the moment, given the fact that I'm not, you know, actually like a quote unquote part of Vaush's community. Like I like him, I'm a fan of his stuff, but you will see me in the chat from time to time, but beyond that, I don't really go on his forums or like shit like his Reddit because his Reddit kind of hates him. But also, I'm not a part of his Twitter, of his like Discord at all. But only comes on ban, you know. Those of you wondering why that is, go ahead and ask me, and I'll answer. I'm not gonna bother giving that explanation. There we go. Did you know that neural implants have been used to treat severe brain disorders for 50 plus years now? Maybe not new, but definitely exciting. A timely first-hand on where we are and where we're going and how to move forward responsibly. Ah, okay. Let's see here. Yeah, this is actually really good. So... But this is not what Elon Musk was attempting to achieve. Like, this type of technology does exist. Like, the type of shit he's talking about is very, very good. You know, literally having an implant in an inner part of your ear to the point where which it connects to a part of your brain that allows for you to be able to receive hearing from that part of your ear that doesn't communicate with the brain. Like, those are a thing there. Those things exist. I can forget what they're called though, but yeah, this there are over 160,000 people walking around with deep brain stimulation devices that treat symptoms ranging from uncontrollable tremors to severe depression. DBS involve uncontrollable tremors. Deep depressions. Well, let's see here. What was that disease? Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Fox had some kind of disease. I can't remember what it was called. Parkinson's disease. Yeah, that's what it was. It hasn't really brought up in like very long or whatever. But this seems like a great fucking first step in dealing with Parkinson's disease. So, hey. But again, this isn't what Elon Musk was trying to do. What Elon Musk was trying to do was trying to create a chip that is put into the brain that allows the human brain to be able to engage in, I guess, increased capacity of being able to recall information faster and accurately, you know, and allow us to process information quicker, you know, in a sense. This will help us process information quicker. But it won't like make us hyper intelligent, of course. You know, the hyper intelligence spark was. I don't know if it was just marketing speak or if he's really that fucking dumb. Given Elon Musk's track record with saying shit like we should nuke Mars to help terraform it, I think we can safely suggest that Elon Musk is stupid, especially considering the fact that Elon Musk, when it's pointed out that he's stupid, that he's being stupid, will instead try to attack that person and send his fans after them to harass and threaten them. So yeah, I'm not. Oh, and he'll lie about you too. That's another thing he'll do. He'll lie about you. So yeah, Elon Musk is stupid. For an ideas guy, he is incredibly fucking dumb.
Make promises they can't keep and half-ass the work they do. A lot of Elon Musk adjacent projects end up being like that. I don't know why it would be such a surprise that this one wouldn't either. Apparently Elon Musk wants human trials. I hope anyone who gets brought in for a human trial on this brings a gun with them so they can take their own life before whatever the implant does to their brain takes effect. Okay.
Okay, I gotta get some water here. So yeah.
Okay. I hope they bring a cyanide pill. You know, better listen. Okay, better to die at your own hand than to live as a slave. They had chips in pigs first. Pigs are very smart animals. I have serious doubts about the legitimacy of this field of research. I feel like this is being fueled not by legitimate scientific inquiry, which is slow, deliberate, and often very unglamorous, and instead being fueled by, you know, ego-mongering and adjacency to futurist tech grifting, which would encourage hasty and, you know, bad science. Just a guess of mine, you know? But that's okay, folks. We're not even done, because as somebody has been extremely clear to point out in chat, there's actually a racism lawsuit which is being brought against Tesla in California. And I want to read it with you guys because there is some wild shit in here. Wow. All of this is within the purview of 1 week, by the way. Everything we've talked about, this has been not just within a week, within a few days. Just a few days during which all of this has taken place. I'm not joking. It's genuinely remarkable. California sues Tesla, saying the company permitted racial discrimination at its factory. Well, that certainly doesn't sound good. The suit comes months after a jury awarded a former black employee at the
By the way, that is a extreme fucking understatement. Wait until we hear the details on this shit. I was floored when this came out. I was just thinking to myself, are we living in the Jim Crow era again? Like, did we just pass 100 fucking years just to go back to Jim Crow again? Like, what the fuck? And for some reason, people like Ben Shapiro will go, you don't actually know about anything about Jim Crow because they wouldn't be working at the fucking Tesla factories. Shut the fuck up, Ben Shapiro.
electric car maker's San Francisco area factory $137 million. Do you all remember that? That wasn't in the past week. That was a few months ago when they got $1/8 of $1 billion. So that's cool. Now the lawsuit's coming from California. So let's dig in. A California state agency is suing Tesla, accusing it of allowing racial discrimination and harassment to flourish at its San Francisco Bay Area facility in a lawsuit that was made public on Thursday. And God bless the district attorney in charge of this one, okay? If there is ever a good use for district attorneys and state power, it would be suing Tesla for being racist. My God. California Department...
The fact that this is done in San Francisco, which is a place not all that far from Sacramento, by the way, from where I live at, is incredibly fucking funny to me. The reason why is because you know that image of San Francisco that South Park created for a lot of people? It's fucking true. The bougie, self-obsessed, self-absorbed, fart-sniffing, like, progressive that is supposedly, like, open-minded and all that kind of shit, but you know, it's one of the reasons why it is that that fucking part of the goddamn city was gentrified. Blacks and minorities were kicked out of the area and forced into an area of San Francisco that is, by the way, now considered to be separate from San Francisco, but you know, at least from a cultural perspective, and has priced themselves out of oblivion and largely engages in discrimination against the homeless. Yeah. So San Francisco is anti-homeless, very racist, faux pas progressive bullshit, and very much engaged in liberal identity politics. One in which you wouldn't be surprised if, like, it was a common thing to find out that, and I'm, by the way, I'm spitballing here, I don't know if this has actually happened, but that it would not be at all out of the ordinary if we were to find out that maids and, you know, various different workers that work to clean up the various different houses and apartments over there are treated like literal slaves, but in a way that makes it seem like they're progressive. So yeah, benevolent racism is what I'm getting at here. So San Francisco's culture is very benevolently racist, which is very bad. At least with maliciously racist, you can, like, identify it as disgusting and abhorrent and argue against it in a lot of ways. But with, like, and argue against it, like, much more effectively in a way that makes it pretty obvious to a lot of people. But benevolent racism, you gotta cut through several layers of bullshit to get at that stuff. I mean, to get at the heart of what the problem is with that stuff, so yeah.
Department of Fair Employment and Housing said hundreds of Tesla workers, had reported being subjected to racist graffiti and widespread use of racial slurs, including from supervisors. They also accused the company of discriminatory practices. The agency said black employees were assigned more physically arduous work and denied transfers or promotions more often than other workers. After receiving hundreds...
Let me see what my dog's barking at. Hold on. Neighbors are being loud, reacting to that shit. So yeah.
Hundreds of complaints from workers. Hundreds of complaints. DFEH found evidence that Tesla's Fremont factory is racially segregated, where black workers are subjected to racial slurs and discriminated against in job assignments, discipline, pay and promotion, creating a hostile work environment. Kevin Kish, the department's director, said in a statement, "The facts of this case speak for themselves." In a statement posted online, Tesla said it strongly opposes all forms of discrimination and harassment. The company denounced the lawsuit, arguing that the state agency has investigated dozens of previous claims in recent years and found no misconduct. You know, I gotta say, pointing out that you've been investigated for racist hiring and employment practices dozens of times and just haven't been cracked down on it yet is a pretty weak defense, you know? It therefore strains.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, the only thing you could possibly say in this regard that makes any fucking sense that is any. Like, just don't mention that, for one. But obviously they did, so there's that. But two, if you want to go and give a factual account of the situation and say that the allegations are completely untrue in any particular regard because you've already had HR departments investigating this issue, you had legal representatives that have been invited uh, onto the place to do their own independent investigation, that you've been very transparent about this stuff, and nothing has you found that for the most part, not only is this not the case, but a lot of the claims are being done so by malicious like employees. That would make sense. But given the fact that we're not working in that reality, there's no point in which we should actually give this any second thought. So let's continue.
Credibility for the agency to now allege, after a 3-year investigation, that systemic racial discrimination and harassment somehow existed at Tesla, the company said. A narrative spun by the DFEH and a handful of plaintiff firms to generate publicity is not factual proof. The idea of Tesla lying about another institution, one that's not even profit-oriented, lying to generate publicity is hilarious.
Yeah.
Tesla did not respond to a request for comment from the New York Times, I assume. Let's see. Tesla said its Fremont factory had a majority-minority workforce and described the lawsuit as counterproductive at a time when manufacturing jobs are leaving California. Ooh, I love that. This is the implied capital strike. Whoa, you're going to call us out for being racist when you already have so few manufacturing jobs in your state? Hey, bro, you have so few manufacturing jobs in your state. Wouldn't it be a shame if, like, something happened to them? It's an empty threat. Remember, Teslas only work in SoCal conditions. Fremont is actually the only town where Teslas can operate without breaking down. So it's a completely, it's impossible for them to follow through on that.
I don't know if that's the case, but if it is the case, which I like, it wouldn't surprise me if that's true at all. So, but yeah, it is. It does sound like an empty threat if that's true.
All right. Tesla also said the California agency has declined its request for information on the accusations. Okay. The company plans to ask the court to, quote, pause the case and take other steps to ensure that facts and evidence will be heard. No? The process of sharing information takes place in the discovery period, doesn't it? Discoverability?
Yep.
Tesla can request the information that the California attorney has when the court case has actually begun. The process has to begin, the discovery phase. Then, of course, we have back in October, a federal jury in San Francisco awarded $137 million to a black former Tesla employee who said he'd faced racial harassment from a supervisor and other colleagues while working in the Fremont factory. Hold on, okay? There are spicier details to this case than what's being brought about here.
Yeah.
I want some more details, okay? They're being a little vague. Let me see if I can't find an article that goes...
They're not just being a little vague. They are being extremely fucking vague. I mean, oh man, the shit that they said. The shit that has been, the shit that has been alleged here. And I say alleged in, like, huge fucking quote marks because it's more than likely fucking true. I mean, there's no reason why it is people would ever make something like this up unless some shit like this actually fucking happened. This is one of those situations where it sounds so fucking ridiculous. It might actually be true because the notion of not taking it at the very least somewhat seriously, given Tesla's fucking track record and given what Elon Musk's history is, along with some of the other adjacent shit that he's been known to support, seems to indicate to me that it might be better off to assume that it's true and to see if there's any evidence that can be brought about by Tesla to suggest that it isn't. Like, they have the burden of proof on them because they are so fucked up that there's no reason why it is we should give them the benefit of the doubt at this point in time.
More into the details of the case. I don't know why New York Times would... Oh, here we go. Thank you. It's not sugar-coated, huh?
Yep.
The lawsuit describes multiple instances of racist language and drawings towards black employees, so on and so forth. Give me the details. The lawsuit says Tesla turned and continued to turn a blind eye to the years of complaints from black employees at the factory. For example, Tesla allegedly is slow to clean up racist graffiti, including ones with swastikas, KKK, the N-word, and other hate symbols that were drawn in common areas on the factory machines. So, I understand these are some toasty times we're living in, but it's actually not normal for swastikas to be spray painted in your workplace. That's actually very abnormal.
Gee, wow, Vaush, I couldn't have figured that out on my own. Like how the hell could I not have understood that the words that the acronym KKK and the N-word and like swastika and like the swastika symbol. I mean, the swastika symbol was just the Nazis used it in World War II, but it's all over the place. It's not that big of a deal. You didn't have to point this out to me. Like, I would have never known about it, but now I know about it. What the fuck? Obviously, I'm playing it up here, but yeah, it's, this goes without saying. I mean, come on.
The lawsuit says one black worker saw Hang N, no idea what that could say, written next to an image of a noose in the bathroom of the break room. The same worker also saw, quote, all monkeys work outside and fuck N something, written on the walls of the break room. The writing and drawings allegedly remained for months. Holy shit. Yep. Discrimination against black employees was constant, the lawsuit says, and has been going on as early as 2012, the year after Tesla started production there. Okay, so immediately then. Black workers at Tesla...
Okay, that was a detail that I hadn't quite read, because after I got to this point in the article here, right here, I was like, okay, I'm good. I don't need to read anything more. I think I've got the gist of it. This sounds so fucking reprehensible. That's like, oh, okay then. Time to talk shit about Elon Musk as a permanent fixture of my life, at least for the foreseeable future.
Complained that managers and supervisors constantly use the N-word.
Oh. That was my brother. He's gonna be coming home soon, so we'll probably be done with this video way before he comes back. But first, of course, I've got to do a few things here. By the way, you guys are gonna have to deal with dogs barking in the background because I had to let them out for a second, and I prefer to actually hear what's going on now. So yeah.
And other racial slurs towards them and other black employees. Some workers in Tesla with tattoos of the Confederate flag would make their tattoos visible to intimidate black workers, according to the lawsuit. Workers at Tesla also allegedly referred to the factory.
Sorry, I'm just reading that single sentence again. This is like a racism flex. Why? What? Are these workers so fucking limp-dicked and so fucking cucked to racism that they feel that the only way in which they could get off in terms of their power fetishes was to showcase Confederate flag tattoos during the work hours. And by the way, this is very funny to me. With this description, tattoos of the Confederate flag would make their tattoos visible to intimidate black workers. So before they had the tattoos, but they weren't in an area that were visible. So they actively made the conscious decision to wear clothes or to modify their current uniforms that they work on in the workplace, so it can showcase them to black workers. This is racism in action, people. This isn't just like systemic racism. This is just flat out fucking racism. And oddly enough, I guess you could call this a racist factory. Tesla is a fucking racist factory. I mean, what the fuck? I thought racist factories were cartoon depictions of like how bad racism was back in the day, because it was actually that fucking bad. Because it took cartoon depictions were more representations of reality than an actual cartoon could give it justice. But yeah, it's
as the slave ship or the workers at Tesla also allegedly referred to the factory as the slave ship or the plantation, in addition to other slurs.
That was something I heard reading up on this.
One black worker heard these racial slurs as often to 50 to 100 times a day. Wow. I'm trying to think of like a space online racist enough that you would hear racial slurs 50 to 100 times a day. I'm actually thinking that if you were a frequent user of Stormfront, you might actually have to put in a bit of effort to reach this level. Like this is higher up than like Call of Duty lobby. Yeah. This would have to be Pole, I guess. It would just Pole is like the only place. Yeah. It's
I don't even think Pole is this. I think even with Pole, you would have to fucking make a really huge stretch to do this shit 50 to 100 times a day individually by various different people. Like, what the fuck?
It's quite a lot. Black work
Because here's the thing here. Even with Pole, like, there are times when it just breaks off into legitimate discussions about geopolitics and shit like that. You know, sometimes that happens within Pole. You know, and there's no racialized or reactionary notion of it. I mean, there's references towards history. There's references towards what's this or that or whatever. You know, there's all kinds of different discussions happening in that sphere, and that takes up quite a bit of Pole as well. So even with Pole, as reactionary as it is, even as fucking racist as it is, like even this. Even they would fucking be like, holy shit. Like, was Elon Musk told how racist Pole was? And he said, I accept your fucking challenge. Like, is that a thing?
It's It's quite a lot. Black workers had to clean the factory floor on their hands and knees while others apparently did not. What the fuck? Jesus Christ! And then it ends in the same way. Tesla says it will ask the court to pause the case. Do not pause the case. I suggest we employ, and this is a real thing, okay, Old English common law. I don't know how they knew that this would be a thing in the future, but it turns out that if an institution is bad enough, you can just nuke it. I call upon the state of California to invoke the atomic ruling, okay? Simply annihilate Tesla and solve this problem for all.
What he's talking about, by the way, is literally just nationalization of Tesla, or just literally taking it, breaking it up into smaller companies, and removing ownership of Tesla from the previous owners and giving it to brand new owners. That's really all you gotta do. It's like, so...
The atomic ruling actually is kind of a cool name. It'd be like a band name or something. Yeah, so that's cool.
The Teddy Roosevelt doctrine. That's pretty much exactly what he's talking about. Yep.
I really hope that lawsuit goes through.
Hold on. Yeah, alright there. Just had to bring the dogs in. The neighbor kid was trying to interact with the dogs, and Roma was starting to freak out and whatnot, so figured I'd bring him inside.
Bro, I really hope there are no settlements out of court. The fact that Tesla asked for information on everything going on and then asked for a pause in the case.
Radio Stalker, the Gamer Tunnel is fucking old goddamn ass news. This is like... This shit is beyond that at this point in time. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Suggests to me that they're asked for information on everything going on and then asked for a pause in the case suggests to me that they're considering settling out of court. That kind of feels that way to me. Yep. It seems like they want to make sure that they would lose this case beforehand, you know? Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. What's the connection between Musk stands and the extreme right? Look, I just think that Elon Musk and everything associated with him is terrible. Oh yeah, and of course, if you're, because somebody linked this in chat earlier, there are, as there have been for a while, but it continues to build up, of course, there has just been this non-stop cavalcade of Tesla autopilots failing. You know? Really fantastic stuff. Drone...
I'd heard about this in the ether, so, yeah.
Footage of Tesla making unprotected left turns is seriously terrifying. Hit me up.
Engaged. Steering wheel's turned. It can see everything fine. All right. I think the scenario is right. And there's a nice gap right off the bat. And let's see. Just go for it. Right here. Go. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that was a pretty good commit. I like that one. That one worked. I'm glad I redid that one.
What's the timestamp for when the thing happens? Keep in mind, autopilot only has to fail once for it to be a questionable turn, particularly scary final attempt 822. Yes.
Yeah, what he was saying, what he was probably going to say there is that it only takes one time for it to fail in order for it to be a fatal incident. Like, and that's true. That's true, because when it comes down to it, errors in driving cannot happen, or people will get killed and died. like, or you will get killed and die. So you know.
Yes, 822. Hold on.
Situation. Okay.
Okay.
Engaged it while I was
They're up
rolling
there
a
in
little bit
the
that
top
time, and it
right,
didn't
right
get
here.
Stuck.
What?
Stop.
Woo!
Sorry, I couldn't let it go any further. It was going too far, and I feel like I'm right on the edge. I can't wait to see what the drone shows. I stopped it as late as I could, but all right, guys, I think that's probably the last one.
Yeah, it didn't stop on its own. They had to stop it.
Drone battery life. Sorry, I couldn't let. Okay, I engaged it while I was rolling a little bit that time, and it didn't get stuck. Stop. Stop.
See, they slam on the brake right there.
Sorry,
You can die
I
that
couldn't let
way.
it go any further.
You can die that way. It said there was another one that was sussy wussy. 534? 534. Give me the 534.
Try it again from right here. I still got the route correct. Okay, I'm re-engaged. Steering wheel's turned. It can see everything fine. All right, I think the scenario is right. And there's a nice gap right off the bat. And let's see, just go for it. Right here, go. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that was a pretty good commit. I like that one. That one worked. I'm glad I redid.
A little wobbly. Yeah, we saw that one. It's 1 in 10. You know, by test 8 we had our near death
Time,
miss.
it didn't get stuck.
Yeah, there we go.
So,
Oh, by the way, I don't know if I'm blocking it or not, but take a look at the self-driving detection down there. Look at how it doesn't notice the cars right here at this point. Here, I'll move my thing so you can see more clearly. So there are cars coming down the road.
stop.
Look, it doesn't see them. Whoop!
Sorry,
Oh.
I couldn't let it go any further.
See that?
It was going too far, and I feel like I'm right on the edge. I can't wait to see what.
It like barely it's like detecting something coming up.
Stop.
Let's
Look.
take, yeah, it's detecting something arriving, but
It doesn't.
oh, okay. I see. The detection is off. The detection pattern is off. You can see the car here and how far it is away from how far the detection system is sensing the car from, but like the actual thing that's there is actually much closer. So for some, I guess the sensors are off or something like that. I don't know.
Doesn't see him.
I have no
What?
fucking clue.
Sorry,
Oh.
I
But yeah,
couldn't
this
let it
is
go any
like
further.
See that?
It was going too far, and I feel like I'm right on the edge. I can't wait to see what the drone shows.
Doesn't look
I
good.
stopped it as late as I could, but all right, guys, I think that's probably the last one.
That's not good, guys. That's not good. That's
Yep.
not good. Here's another one. Oh God, please. Typical drive of a Tesla FSD Beta, and why it's the opposite of useful. Most certainly not even close to being safer than human by a factor.
I think Google has better fucking self-driving cars.
Holy shit! Woo!
It's gonna collide with that fucking truck. My God.
Obviously, I had to take over. Didn't even start slowing down. No. Wow.
Guys, you ready for my hot take? Okay. Autonomous driving in, like, urban areas is not ever going to be a safe thing. Ever. It's not going to happen, okay? It's just not, alright? The technology necessary to encode, contextualize, and respond to all of the myriad signals that humans have our advanced meat brains to figure out ain't gonna happen. The closest you're going to get for autonomous driving is probably going to be highways. Trucks that can drive autonomously down highways and then be resumed with manual control when they reach more, you know, developed areas would probably be a pretty useful way of invoking this technology. But aside from that, yeah, no. Yes, public transportation would be infinitely better.
Yeah, like you know, truckers on the highway or whatever, getting kind of tired, activates its automatic thing and whatnot. You know, you have separate sensory perceptions, if you would, where in which it wakes the driver up in case if there's something that it senses that the other thing doesn't or whatever. Therefore, it wakes the driver up and then like he just automatically is reflexively like brakes on the gas or something like that. It's like, oh, sorry about that. I just calm down. That was me. That wasn't. That was me. Quiet, Roma, buddy. Quiet. Okay, God, make sure not to stop my feed anymore. Anyways, like, they can get like a bit of rest there, and if anything goes wrong or whatever, they're woken up in a fashion in which it's safe for them to push on the brakes. They do so, and determine what's wrong, see what's going on there, make sure they're safe, continue their little nap after they're done safe, once they initialize the thing on the highway, and the thing wakes them up after they're like close to getting off the highway. I think that's perfectly fine. I think that would be great, especially for truckers specifically. Like, that technology being used for truckers, I think, could help them earn quite a bit of rest that they need, so yeah.
It would be a safe thing if every car was autonomous? No, it would not be, because you're still ignoring all the other factors.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Like, you know.
Oh no. Oh no.
What?
Look at that.
What?
I'm not seeing videos on it doing this. Alright, I'll go. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay.
Protected here, so.
Wait, what was that?
Okay.
Protected here, so. Yeah.
I can't see that.
Okay.
Protected here, so.
I guess Vaush doesn't have it up on the...
Okay, what is it doing?
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Yes, very much some Final Destination shit. Not good, and I don't like it. But I also don't like Elon Musk, which is the whole point here. Guys, fake tech grifting futurism is not good. All right, technological advancements are cool, and they should be, you know, built out by actual scientists and not by like PR hype men. Who mislead the public into what's possible and then lie and then just make a ton of money off of it. Maybe we shouldn't, take those people super seriously, you know? At all, possibly. And keep in mind, by the way, even if Elon Musk was totally on the ball correct on everything that he said, he's not really, like, improving the world here, okay? Elon Musk's desired world, all the futurism in the world, is one in which everything stays functionally the same for everyone, except he makes significantly more money. There's no real substantive change. The best technological changes are ones that meaningfully affect how we relate to our world, that make things easier or more convenient or more meaningful. But what is his solution to traffic? Build an extra lane underground. What is the solution to the fact that car culture is draining and it fucks up our cities and it fucks up our lives? Make it so the cars can pilot themselves autonomously, except they can't, of course. What is its solution to it taking 12 hours to fly around the world? Build rocket stations all around the planet so that they can take 1/2 of that time for a bajillion times the price, actually. All of the solutions he's offering are misdirections which succeed only in their goal of making him popular and wealthy. So, whatever.
Oops, my bad. Did not mean to
The
push on that. You know what? All in all, I have to say, and I'm proud to say it, even though I'm doing it with a very funny reference, if you would, I agree with that. So, yeah. Anyways, I figured we'd go ahead and end it off this curve. There was like so much. There was just like so much that was so crazy, and yet it was kind of expected in a way due to Elon Musk's history. So, sorry, Elon Musk's history. So, not much to say. Not much to react to. Not much to end on. It's really just strange how that all proceeded the way in which it did over the course of just like a few days. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe. See y'all later.